Welcome back to Margaritas in Paradise. Hey, I was up in Bangkok and I was talking about the Sai Sin. Okay, now if you traveled much in Thailand or you spent much time here, there's a good chance that you've had somebody or a monk tie a white string to your wrist. We're talking about what's the meaning of this. A lot of people have them here, I think, purely as fashion, but they're not that at all. They're something that's been blessed by a Buddhist monk. And they're there to provide for good luck for you and protection and health. And the idea is for you to potentially wear this for, let's say, 3 days. Hopefully the string just falls off and goes away. But a lot of times once they get dirty and things like that, people tend to cut them off. Now you'll see different color strings and people ask about that all the time. You know, the white string is traditional. It's because white being purity, that sort of thing. And another thing is when you go to these Buddhist temples, a lot of times you'll see these white strings strung up between statues and things like that. And what it's doing is it's tying everything together. In the same fashion, if a whole family is being blessed by a monk, and the lead person's up front with the way position, everybody else has their hand on the person in front of them because it's tying everybody together. My advice for you is to immerse yourself into the Thai traditions, okay? People do it because some people believe in it full tilt, okay? And other people, they do it for the fashion sense or whatever it may be. But immerse yourself. If you're not into it, don't do it. But the thing is it's something that's widely accepted here in Thailand. So I wanted to mention to you, now I was wearing some white strings on my right wrist, and somebody had mentioned in a question, what were those white strings signifying? And you know, that's a kind of a Thai tradition, and I don't know if it's necessarily just Thailand, but it's definitely a Buddhist tradition. The idea behind it is that normally a monk will tie these strings on you, and I believe the term is Sai Sin. It's a connection to the spiritual realm of everything that's going on around you. For your well-being, it's a good health and protection, and a lot of people just look at it as a good luck, a friendly gesture. Now you're going to see this happening when you go into a temple and visit a monk, and a lot of times the monk will be spraying water over your head, and people will be waiting to get these strings put on them. A guy like me, they have to have bigger strings because they cut these strings ahead of time, and they're shorter pieces. The idea is that you'll go up and he'll chant a prayer over you, and toss some holy water, I guess it's holy water, across your back and on your head. One of the things is maybe an elder may end up putting a string on you. Once they meet you or something like that, it's certainly a possibility that an elder may put these strings on you, and then other members of the family may put them on you too. Hey, if you haven't done so already, make sure you give me a big thumbs up, that you're hitting that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that little bell next to it for future notification of videos that are coming out. Also, make sure you're checking the description box below for all kinds of money-saving tips. Kind of tells you where I'm at, things like that, and ways to be able to contact me in case you have an additional question that you just think is private. Yeah, I want to put out a big shout out to Paul W. Thank you so much for that super thanks. I don't see very many of those. I had to look it up, but I definitely thank you very much. Yeah, you're awesome. Again, it's humbling that people think enough of me to, you know, whether it's a tip or anything that anybody gives me, it goes into a fund that basically takes care of better equipment, trying to make my channel better. So anyway, I thank you very much. Yeah, it's definitely definitely appreciated. You too. Now a good example is, let's say you meet somebody and you go home with them to the village, all right? And if they really, really like you, they'll get out these strings and everybody will come along and start putting strings on you. Now, traditionally, when you see somebody, especially a man and a woman, walking together down the road and they got a bunch of strings on their wrists, normally that means they just got married. Okay, so that's something, when you're, you don't want to give the wrong impression. So, it's one thing to put, one or two of these strings or three or four of them on, but once you start getting a bunch of them on, it may look like something maybe that it may be misleading. Now, somebody like Sarlina, she could probably clarify this better, okay, and make sure I'm on target by telling you this here, but in my opinion, okay, this is something that you want to make sure that you take with a little bit at a time, all right? Does that make sense? A little bit at a time with these little white strings. But a lot of guys end up getting these strings, one or two of them, and it's just a kind of a fitting in. They take them for what they are, what they're meant to be. It's just protection and health and a wish for you to be a good guy. All right, so that's what that is. And then another shout out to Tom H. Thank you very much. I definitely appreciate you buying me the drink. Another one goes out to Stanley. Stanley, another Kansas City Chief fan. Go Chiefs. Anyway, both you guys humble me. I thank you so much. And yeah, if anybody else is out there interested in buying me a cup of coffee or a beer or whatever, there's a link in the description below. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed this section about the Sai Sin. This is something that's good. You have to be careful when you're around family members, extended family members. When you start getting too many white strings, white threads on your wrists, assumptions are going to be made. But other than that, it's normally a good thing. Embrace it. Just embrace it. That's the way to do it. All right. That's all I have for you for today. We'll see you in the next video. Bye.